A few things that I really want to say, and then we'll open it up if anyone needs any more personal support. I also have cards here that are the Work Your Light Oracle deck for light workers, which I love this deck when we're looking at business. It's really beautiful. So I was going to do a little card pulling for everyone as well, doing some individual cards to give you that support. Because I love to, and why not, right? Why not bring spirit into everything always? Okay, so I just wanted to go over a little recap first of everything that we've kind of been through in this program so far, and just reminding yourself of these different aspects, just really also the energy of acknowledging yourself and what you've been through. So, this is not about what you've done and what you haven't done, and how many of the assignments you've done and how perfect it's been. This is looking back on the journey you've been on in the last 8 weeks, starting out from, almost nothing as far as a focus, a mission, a purpose. A lot of you not having much of an idea or as clear of an idea of how you want to help people, or the new pivot, the new change in the business, the direction you want to go. So, in that first week, we were really looking at your mission and talked a lot about like your why, what is important to you, what the world needs. So, I want you to continue to be thinking about these things always. When I get discouraged, when I don't know what to do next, when I don't know what to post, I go back to, why does the world need what I have to say? And I don't care if there's 700,000 other people teaching intuition, teaching law of attraction, teaching manifestation, people still need it. So it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. The world needs what I have to say. The people around me, the people that are going to bump up to me with my message and come across my podcast, come across my stuff, they still need it, no matter how many people are out there teaching this stuff. So, really remembering as much clarity as I have at any one point, like, first and foremost, your mission is to help people, right? And if getting bent up and out of shape about the exact thing and how this is going to look and how this is going to happen takes you out of your mission, then you need to back up, stop the train, and go, first and foremost, I am here to help people. I just am. So, how can I help someone today? It's really just looking at that mission. And then we focus more individually, right, on the individual missions you guys are here for. And each and every one of you, even if you don't feel like 100% crystal clear, it's because there is a such thing as divine timing. And divine timing doesn't mean that it has to take a long time. But what this is you are only ready to claim and step into the level in which you're currently at. And as you grow, you're ready to claim and step into a new level. And that's what I experience over and over. I get frustrated. I feel unclear. I'm like, oh, nothing's working. This doesn't feel right. And then whatever it is, all of that. And the fact that I choose to look at it and really like, okay, what do I need to do? And usually I go back to the energy work, the embodiment work, spend some time in quiet. I will all of a sudden get that spark back and like, oh yeah, okay. And then I elevate myself and all of a sudden I start making more money and I have more elevated offers and I'm more focused and committed to my clients and I show up better. And so just knowing that you're only ever ready for the amount of clarity and love and, success as you are right now, but you're always up and up. So just coming back to that mission, above and beyond anything, you're here to help people. And thinking of it almost like a child. I know not everyone here is a parent, but if you can imagine having a child and thinking like, if you're more bent out of shape about what kind of parent you're going to be and did I do the wrong thing and is this right and is that wrong, it'll take you out of the essence of just making a fucking judgment call and doing your best in a relationship with children, as a boss, as a leader. You just can do your best. So that mission, first and foremost, is to help with the light, to help people feel better in their life. And you've been through enough, you've learned enough to help someone at some stage, right? There's people all over the place, from rock bottom, like suicidal, lost in their depression, their anxiety, all the way into $1 million leaders. And everyone needs a mentor. Everyone needs help. There's $1 million leaders that can't get their thyroid under control, that are always tired and lethargic. There's $1 million leaders that completely neglect themselves. And there's also people at rock bottom that have the same issues. So there's people out there for you. That's a big thing I had to realize. And I remember my first coach going like, you should teach body and diet and freedom and all of that to $1 million like successful women. And I was like, what? But I'm not $1 million successful woman. She's like, yes, but I see the people who are making all this money, but secretly inside have a battle with their body and can't, figure out how to treat themselves right, lose weight. They basically have that torture going on, but they're highly successful on the outside. You could talk to people saying, do you have it all together on the outside, but inside you're secretly struggling? And I was like, oh, so just because they're making $1 million doesn't mean they're better than me or that I can't help them. She's like, no, it has nothing to do with it. There's people struggling with body image no matter what they're doing. And I was like, oh, right. And it just took the bravery for me to figure out who I want to serve. But just really first and foremost, your mission is to help people. And there are people that have what you need at every stage in life, no matter what you think about your message, no matter how much you think it's worthy or good enough. I know you guys now more intimately than even at the beginning of this. And I know each and every one of you. I can see it. I can see how people need this, how this could be turned into a business, meaning that like it can be. There's some people I'm like, is that a business? I'm not sure. But I know for you guys, really, truly, I can see it. So just remember that mission when you get in your head is that I'm just here to help people. And if I can just pass on one thing I've learned today, even if it's not like the whole message of my brand, like what can I just pass on? How can I just help people? That will help you so far in being a leader. So in the second week, we went on to shadow and wholeness work. And this was really about embracing that shadow part of us, that wholeness, knowing we can be fucking scared and also moving forward at the same time. We can feel not good enough and also be helping people, also be rising and doing, our best, even if that's, just making it to a meditation in the day or just, keeping on. It's that shadow, it's that integration of the light and the dark and the fact that we all have it all. And a huge part of this, just like kind of recapping these things, one of the biggest, most powerful things I say to myself all the time is, even though today I'm struggling, I still love and accept myself. Or even today, if I'm freaking out that no one's going to join my program, I still love and accept myself. Even if I feel not good enough and small and like no one's going to want to listen to me, I don't look the part, I'm not the part, I'm not there enough, I still love and accept myself. And that energy of just loving the mess in yourself, loving the not put together, the non-perfection is so, so powerful, because it's really easy to love ourselves when we do a good job. It's really easy to love ourselves when we've got on that banging outfit and when everything's going our way and we're checking things off the box. But can you love yourself when you're in your rock bottoms, when you're feeling behind or you're feeling unclear or frustrated? Can you just love where you're at? Such a powerful part of being a leader, because each and every one of you are teaching something around that will help other people, of just loving where they're at and embracing those, all the parts of themselves, and not sort of limiting themselves to their limits, but rising above that. And shadow is such a big part of that. So we did the shadow and the wholeness. And we talked about the mindset of success and service and never giving up, and really talking about knowing what you are meant for and knowing that this is within you, and this mindset of knowing you're here to serve people. I find, and I keep saying this, but sometimes it makes it not such a big deal, because I get so wound up in like all the moving parts. And then I'm like, I'm just here to serve. Like I was just saying in the beginning, right? I'm just here to serve. I'm just here to help people. And if I have that mindset, I'm holding the door open for someone, or I'm helping, someone in other ways. I'm just showing up as service, showing up as the light. That will help you so much too, because the more we go like, but how, and everything has to be so specific before we will ever show up, we pinch off a lot of what we have to offer. So just thinking of that, being in the mindset of success and service first and foremost. And then we had the workshop about owning your story with Nick Demas. And he talked a lot about, like owning your story and where you've been. And he talks about owning the stories that are in your mind, and, the type of leader you are, and everything in that was so powerful. And all of these trainings and bonuses are all available to you forever. So you can always go back. I recommend you should do. When I take courses with mentors, especially if I've been wanting to work with them for a while and I'm really excited, I will go back and watch the trainings over. I'll play it while I'm doing the dishes because I always hear new things. So these are always available to you. And then we talked about intuition, using your intuition for yourself, but also for your clients, knowing that you have a knowing deep down, especially as you hone in on your ideal client and knowing them, knowing more about them than they think that you know, and using your intuition to know what they need. Also using your intuition when you're in that setting with someone, receiving those downloads, feeling into their energy so that you can serve them. That's such a big part of what I do. And I know I shared that, but I feel like a big thing changed when I just was like, I'm going to teach this stuff. But when I started like being of service and like, yes, I'm going to teach this stuff, but I'm also like looking at you guys and I'm reading your energy and I'm asking how you're doing and I'm getting involved with you guys. And that helps to pull forward intuitive guidance. And I get that with my clients, my one-on-one clients. I think I was sharing this, but I do Voxer support. So Monday through Friday, we're exchanging like voice memos, and I'll just because I get into people's energies, I'm just like receiving, and I'll like send these voice memos of like, I can just see you and it's a book and it's something. And they're like, okay. Anyways, but using your intuition to serve people is so amazing because you don't have to have all the answers. The more intuitive you are, in fact, I think the better that it works. I mean, I know that, but it takes a bit to get comfy in that, but really using your intuition in your business, what feels right for you as you do start posting and, going, should I have a YouTube channel or should I be doing a workshop or even prices, going inside first and going, what feels good for me? And even setting my prices is an intuitive process because I have to go inside and go, what feels right, what feels fair, what will really pull them forward to show up and also pull me forward to show up, but feels good. It doesn't feel like I'm, charging way too much for, this person, or it doesn't feel, just that whole intuitive process. I used to look up like what numbers sell, and people will be like, I had this stage where everything was like $97, $57, $27, because 7 is what gets people to buy. And now I'm like, fuck it. Mine's are like 22s and 111. And like, that's totally more me. Right. And that's what felt good for me. And that's just an intuitive process, but using your intuition in your business every single time will serve you. And that's the aligned leader ritual too, like allowing yourself to be led. I did that today, the aligned leader ritual, because I hadn't done it in like a week. And it was just so powerful. I automatic wrote for like a whole page after about, my business going forward. And so really making sure to remember to use your intuition in your business. And then we talked about taking action that works. So inspired action, the action that, yes, it might be scary. In fact, it probably is and should be, but it feels right. Like if someone told me to go make a blog tomorrow because the blogs are going to be the hot thing in 2022, I'd be like, that doesn't feel right. Right. But a podcast was like, how the hell was I not doing this? It just felt so right. And it's just the best thing ever. I'm like, I just love the podcast so much. And I was led to that. I was led to show up in a way that really felt good for me. So even how Julie was saying, like, Facebook's not her end all be all jam. You need to know what works for you, and you will know it more and more as time goes on. But taking that inspired action, I even love how Tanya, you'd mentioned like influencer or sponsorships and like just feeling into like, that would be fun, right? Whereas someone else might go like, I don't want to, get paid to talk about other people's products. I want to just do healing retreats or something. And it's like, we have to know what works for us. And that's our path to success. And so just remembering that and taking action. I know you all know this in your personal lives, and also just in your logical minds. But when you're in the position and you're scared, or you feel like it's not coming together, or you are just unsure, taking action is like the hardest thing. And that's when we bolt, right? That's built into us. We are designed to bolt when things get uncomfortable. But this is one of those times that you need to keep taking action for yourself and showing up for yourself. So in that week, we talked about inspired action and the action that feels right to you, what feels right and excites you, how it excites you to show up and what type of action that is. And then we moved on to the ideal client, which was really that week where we were looking at who am I here to serve. That was a really powerful one. I recommend going back and listening. I could go back and listen and get things out of it because that ideal client work is so important, really getting to know your people. And that's where you can speak to them on such a deep level. And that's what really has them take action and has them want to join your free class or your paid program or your workshop or your mentorship or whatever. Just getting to know your ideal client is so, so important. And remembering that bad information that really seemed to light you guys up. It lit me up teaching about it, that bad information that people are getting and how there's people out there just being fed this shit constantly. And you know, another way that in itself is enough of a green light to be like, yeah, you're meant for this. There's people out there being fed the wrong things physically and figuratively. And they need your help. So really remembering there's someone out there and she's just an everyday normal person, she or he. There's someone you see at the schoolyard. There's someone randomly on Facebook checking out their nieces and nephews' pictures and they're getting bad advice. Sometimes we get scared. Sometimes I think that the people that are going to come to me are like, all put together and figured out life in the ways that I haven't. And they're really intimidating. And I have to like show up and convince them of something. And what I realize is my ideal people are coming to me being like, I love the way you talk about this, or I really need help building my intuition. And I'm like, oh, awesome. Because I've focused on that person. They're not scary. They actually are like deeply called to you and want your help. So you're the mentor in this case. And I know that in itself takes some time to get used to, but just really sinking into that ideal client. And then last week we did the quantum leader. So who are you being? And this is, again, one you should go back and listen to because this is manifestation. This is when I have a quantum manifestation course, this will be the meat of it is who are you being? There's no other way to go about it. Who are you being when you feel unclear? Who are you being? Are you reclusing and doing it alone and going back in your cave and doing the thing that you may have done many, many other times in your life? Because I know I have. Or am I being the person that's like, I'm scared. I love myself anyway. Time to get to work, time to keep focusing because that is who you need to be. And it's not just focusing on doing stuff, it's focusing on being that leader, taking care of yourself, walking the path first, taking your own medicine. Those are more the things that are important versus the website and the Twitter account. Like those things come after your being, right? That's how you can really step into the leader that you are. So that was sort of the recap of everything that we've gone over so far. And, within this, there was also lots of physical, tangible steps and assignments, practices, encouraging, examples, how to create posts, where to get your content from. So make sure to go back over that stuff because there's lots of big energetic stuff. But then every week I made sure to have practical, strategic steps that you can do. So when you're feeling like, I don't know what to do, go back to all those things, go back to the workbooks, look at the assignments. Again, it'll all be accessible to you forever. Oh. So I'm just going to talk really quickly about success principles that I really think are important and like to teach. So the first thing is thinking big or outrageous goals. And I used to talk about outrageous goals a bit more, but it's like outrageous, ridiculous goals and thinking really big that's what makes the difference between people that create a big, not average life or not. That was really fragmented. The people that create the big, outrageously awesome life are the people that think big and outrageous and awesome. If you dream small, you're going to achieve it. If you think small and you just want like a mediocre relationship or you just want like, I just want to get by, that's what'll happen. But you're not that person, right? You've never been that person. You don't just want to get by. In fact, that's just getting by is what's prompted you to want more, because you don't want to just get by in some areas or all areas or whatever. So the reason why I talk about big, outrageous goals is there's two reasons. One is that it propels you forward. Law of attraction is responding to something much bigger, going, oh, she's ready for this. She's dreaming of this. She desires this. She's picking up on what we're showing her is available to her. Because to back that up, everything we see in our mind's eye, everything we dream, everything we desire is meant for us. So when we dream and desire big, the universe is like, whoa, she's ready. And we look at it like a 10 out of 10, like $1 million, a retreat, New York Times bestseller. We're like, oh my goodness, that's the like big, huge, outrageous goal. And the universe is like, cool, she's dreaming like a 7, and I'm going to give her so much more. And this is so exciting. But when we think small, we receive small. So that's the first reason, is that the universe responds bigger to us, gives us bigger things, bigger opportunities, more abundance, because we're ready for it. But the other thing is, on a very physical brain level, our ego talks us out of a lot of things, right? Almost everything. But there's this degree, and I was trying to think of, actually, as I was creating this, trying to think of where I learned this. And I feel like it might have been The Big Leap, Gay Hendricks, which is an amazing book. But they've done studies where when we think really big, there's actually less inner chatter, because our voice kind of doesn't know what to do with it. So if I'm going like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, my brain's like, you haven't done it before, or you're going to want the whatever. But when I go like 100 pounds or something, I don't have 100 pounds to lose, but that big, our brain kind of goes like, and it might go like, no, you won't. But it doesn't have as much fuel to fight back, because it's so big and outrageous that it almost thinks you're like not serious. It's like, I can't even see that sabotage or that not working. So I know it sounds funny, but sometimes when we go so big that our brain can't even totally fight it, because it's almost incomprehensible, the brain will go like, no, you won't. But we can get around that, because you have personal development, spiritual tools, meditation, journaling, like the stuff that you know how to flip your limiting beliefs, and these things that you learn, you can get around like a plain, no, you can't. You're like, okay, well, yes, I can. So there we go. Got rid of that one. But when we think small and we get all caught up on the little details, it's our brain there's just more chatter. So I love big, outrageous goals, because I find my ego doesn't even know what to do with it. It's like, oh, it's almost kind of goes like, good luck. And then just stays quieter, because I'm like, I'm going big, and it doesn't even know how to fathom this. So I really think that it's important to have your sights set on the bigness of what you want in your life, and know that it is fucking possible for you. Do the work, continue on the journey of possibility, of being around books and mentors and whatever else that stretches the realm of possibility in your mind. Because when you go there and you all of a sudden think those huge things are possible, everything starts rearranging to start trying to find how it's possible. But when you just don't even go there to the $1 million or whatever for you, again, we've talked about that, like $1 million doesn't light me up. But when I think of like hosting retreats and this home, like when I thought of my dream home, it was so big and outrageous. I was like, I don't even know how that would ever happen. And like, here we are. It's nuts. So really just, going big, allowing yourself to go big. And then the next one is being committed. And I put become committed, but you guys already are committed. But commitment is really, really important. And even if we think of a relationship, if both people in the relationship want a committed relationship, commitment is what keeps you together. If you're going off everywhere else, it's like not a committed relationship. You're not very committed to this healthy relationship. Again, that's just if people want a committed relationship, but it's something that when we become committed to our success, we adopt this whole energy of like, I don't care what it takes, it's happening. And that's where I have been since the beginning. It doesn't mean I haven't had bad days, but I'm just going to be straight up. I've never considered quitting. I just have never once been like, I'm just going to go back to a job for the rest of my life. Like even when I had to get a job near the beginning to like supplement my income while I was figuring it out, I have not once been like, I'm just not going to do this. And a lot of people have. I listen to a lot of podcasts and people go like, I gave up 17 times, like quitting smoking, like back and forth and all that. And that's fine if you are that. But I really, really believe that when we just become committed, it takes on this whole other thing. Like I've said to you guys so many times, like there must be a way is my mantra when I don't know the fucking way. When I'm like, I hope there's a way, I'm like, there must be a way, because I'm not giving up. So whether it's this business for you guys, or it's just the dream and the vision of a life of freedom, of being able to teach and help people from a purpose, from a freedom place, and it's not being in a job you don't like and someone else's schedule, and you want to use your life experience to help others. Again, I've said this, that's a source desire. That's source and God being like, awesome. These are who we want, right? These sort of devotees, these beings of light, whatever it is you're talking about, you're helping people. That's what the big you wants of all of us. So like there's a way, there's many, 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 many ways. And it's just about you getting over the fear sort of, right? And over the like what ifs and the journey really of believing in your own success. But the commitment itself is the part that I think it's bold to say, because I want to be like compassionate and soft and gentle. But if you're not committed, you're not going to make it. If you're not committed, it's a fucking hard world being an entrepreneur. Just like we could say being in a relationship, losing weight, traveling the world, being in van life, like no matter what we think is great, it is a tough road a lot of times. It's not as glorified as what everyone wants to say it is. Any of these things, right? Having your soulmate, or, it's like, it looks great, but it's work. And so being committed is, you have to be committed to this, whether like your business can grow and change, your message can grow and change, your offers can grow and change, you grow and change, but just being committed to creating the life that is meant for you, creating the life of freedom, not stopping. That will open up doors and change the trajectory of your success, of your income. That's the difference. That is seriously the difference. Are you committed? And even like now I'm at the point where I don't take on any one-on-one client. I used to just like anyone that's ready to pay me, sure. But I actually have like, if you're ready to work with me, reach out to me, because I need to determine if you are committed. And that doesn't mean that you follow everything and you're perfect. There's totally times my clients are like, I don't know, just like you guys, the week has gone by and I don't know. That's not what I mean about committed. It's about like, are you focused on your own success? Because I can't believe in you and be committed for you. Like I can believe in you, but I can't be committed for you. That's your job. I'm committed to helping you because I'm committed to my job. But are you committed to your job of being the best you, of creating a more and more expansive, abundant life in all the ways? Are you committed? That's so, so important. And when we talk about success, if you're not committed, you won't succeed. So the next is meeting resistance with compassion. I think that this is something that I'm going to tell you and then you're going to forget. And then I'm going to tell you and then I'm going to forget. And then we'll keep on doing that. When we're struggling, it's hard to be compassionate. This is when we go, I shouldn't be doing this. They're more ahead than me. I should be there by now. Everyone else is talking about law of attraction or self-love, and everyone's trying to build this freedom lifestyle. Like, who am I to, again, like I was saying with Julie, that I witness in her that she's no longer just the victim of her struggle. She's aware of her struggle. And that's where we get to have compassion, or, the uncomfortableness, we can witness that. And I was saying that before we hit record, when I can witness my reaction to my husband or my coach or whatever, it's just that much more powerful than just being it. So when you are in resistance, I am in resistance. I love and accept myself anyway. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling hopeless. I love and accept myself anyway, because I am not giving up. I am committed. So I will be compassionate. What do I need? Is it a good meal? Take myself out, have a self-care day. So yesterday, I had this, like, I still don't know what it was, where it came from, but I sat down in my office and I had a day where I just had one call, because I've been doing this where I've been intentionally making a lot more space in my schedule. And I had one call And so I had the whole morning and I was like, okay, I'm going to go in my office. And I found myself just doing busy work and I'm responding to this and I'm doing this. And my energy started getting weirder and weirder. And I usually start the day with energy work. I meditate. I do a dance party. I have this whole list of stickies on my wall of like, pick a thing. 10 minutes of intuitive movement, meditation, aligned leader, journaling. Like I have all these things. I just pick one. I usually end up doing two. So I just wasn't doing it. I was resisting it. I'm like, oh, but this email, oh, but this thing, oh, but this. And I started just getting weirder and weirder. And I just like, all of a sudden I was like, okay, I need to do something for myself, my energy work. And I was like, I don't even want to do anything. Like, I don't know, like Kundalini, blech, mantra, blech, mala, blech, yoga, blech. Like I was just in, that's resistance. I'm resisting my own feel good. I'm resisting my own feeling good. That's just, I know it's not proper English, but that's what it feels like. That's what resistance is. And I was like, ugh. And so then I just completely realized that I change day to day. What feels good changes day to day. And I'm trying to do something that I do every other day that feels really good. And there's even like 10 things I could pick from, but it just wasn't working. So I just went inside and I was like, what do I need? Blech. And I heard like self-care. It was this tone of like, take space for yourself and self-care. And so I closed my computer and I told my husband, I'm like, after my call, I am going, into the bathroom and I am going to have the longest shower and I'm clipping my toenails and I'm doing shaving spots I haven't been shaving. And I am going to, just get myself right from a loving place. So I started beating myself up. I started going like, what's going on? Like, you have so much to do. Like, come on. And I was like getting anxious. I've been having this thing lately where when I get out of alignment, I instantly start feeling anxious. And I think it's because I'm calling for deeper and deeper levels of alignment. So I've called forward, like, I can't sit in this. I don't want to sit in this anymore. I don't want it to just linger. So it's hitting me hard where I go like, whoa, okay, pivot, because I'm moving through things faster. So anyway, I met it with compassion. I was like, something's not right here. Yes, I have emails. Yes, I have clients to get to or people to write back to, but I can't right now. My team's reaching out. There's people waiting on things, but I can't do any of it right now. What do I need? Did the self-care thing, didn't even end up going back to work. I just left it after I took forever, and there's meditation music and Palo Santo. It was like a Zen space. And I went from the shower to the bath, back to the shower. It was like, who is this girl not caring about her hot water levels? It was awesome. Oils, it was all good. So I met it with compassion. And after, I felt so much better. And I did that all the way like to dinner. It was like an hour and a half or two or whatever. And eating dinner, I was so proud of myself, because so many times I just try to push through and I get upset and I'll be like on the phone with my bestie being like, I don't know how I'm feeling. It's just another word. Instead of doing something about it with compassion, I'd just like be in more resistance. So this is something I'm continuously learning. When we can meet our stuckness with compassion, think of when you're on your period, and hopefully you're like me and haven't taken this long to figure it out. But when I'm feeling off, I now give myself that space. I'm like, I just don't, it's the first day of my period. I feel icky, and that's okay. And I used to be so mean to myself, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Blah, blah, blah. Everything just sucks. And then I'd get my period. I'm like, oh, that was like, or whatever, right? I wouldn't give myself the rest day. So that doesn't feel good, to just push through what your body's doing, what you're being nudged to do, which might be rest or take a breath, or for me, just like get in the shower. So that's something that's really important, is to meet your resistance with compassion. And then the next thing, it's kind of coupled with that, but to move through it, it's not that big of a deal. So this is something that, again, it'll take a while to really learn. But when I get there in my head of like, I'm not here enough, or I don't know what to do enough, or there's not this or that, I just have to like be like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Like it's hard to sort of teach, because it's not that it's not a big deal, because I honor what I feel, but it's also not true, right? Like, I'll never do this, or I'm not ahead enough. it's like, again, being compassionate and then just like moving through it. Like, it's not the truth. It's not a big deal. So you had a stuck day. Like yesterday, I was like borderline anxiety attack before I figured out what I needed. Today, I walked into my office feeling so great and so grateful. Did all my normal energy stuff first. I felt incredible, recorded a podcast, but it's because yesterday it wasn't a big deal. It's just, it was in the moment, but really it wasn't that big of a deal. I moved through it. I gave myself what I needed. So sometimes just like taking those emotions off the like really high pedestal kind of, and just going like, not a big deal. It's just a moment of lack. Not a big deal. It's just a day of feeling off. Maybe just drop it and go for a walk or whatever. So I don't know if that resonates, but that's a way that I talk to myself and be like, it's not a big deal. Of course, there are things that are big deals, but I find a lot of things can be moved through like that. And then the next one is to witness and question your beliefs. We've kind of touched on that, but your beliefs, yes, in general, but in this, it's about your business. So I'm not ahead enough. Who am I to influence people and help people? I don't have enough to say. I don't look the part. I'm not a technology person. I'm not a show up online person. I don't know what to say, whatever it is. Witness those things, right? Even like business has to be hard. Setting up all the tech has to be hard. I'm not cut out for that. I'm not that type of person. This person's much more ahead than me. Really witness and question those. And the only question I ever ask is this ultimately true? And I've said that for years. Is this ultimately true? And I go like written in the stars, like God has written it into like the earth commandments. You are behind. Like, no, it's not ultimately true. You don't look the part. You know, people online now look like normal people. Like, yes, there's still the like really like weirdly made up people, but people are looking more and more normal all the time. And congratulations, you're a normal person too. And so when you show up in your essence, you do bring that beauty or that togetherness or that whatever you think you need. So just really seeing that stuff and questioning it and asking like, is it true? And then also just witnessing like, is this going to help me? Right? We talked about that in the mindset one. Like, is this belief going to help me in business? And often it's not. So the second to last one is to be scared. And I know that this like sounds great when we're sitting in a great high place, being like, oh yeah, just like always taking scary leaps. But I am fucking terrified most of the time in my business because like I'm investing in high levels. I am showing up beyond my comfort zone. I'm pushing myself to have 1 or 2 podcasts a week. I am, launching big things inside and outside. I'm opening, like I've told you guys, like the intuitive and the psychic journey has been like terrifying because what if it doesn't resonate? Or what if I'm not as gifted as I think? Or what if I say something really bad and someone's mad and they, I don't know, sue me or hate me or whatever? Give me a thumbs down. Wouldn't that be the worst? So, but being scared is a sign that you're not comfortable, a sign that you're not just sitting in what you've always sat in. So we need the comfy, like the meditation and the downtime and me being in the shower, but also me just closing my computer and walking away for the day is a leap for me because I've spent years hustling and pushing through those moments and trying to be stronger. So yeah, that and just being outside your comfort zone is the thing that again propels you forward. If we're not like the kid riding the bike, it's not comfortable to get on that bike. In fact, it's terrifying because you've never done it before and it's wobbly. And we've talked about this analogy of the bike. And so it's kind of like, but they need to bust through that being scared to realize that they've got this, to realize that balance comes from within them and they can be riding the bike like by the end of the day. But it's terrifying at first, right? If anyone's ever been on stage or been on a first date or, showed up at a new job or talked in front of people or whatever, it's always scary. But I do recommend, like when I start realizing that I'm not doing anything big right now, but I'm also like really determined for like big success and like yesterday, because I do believe in my own activation, my own power. I do believe I'm ready. So I'm also like willing to really give it. But I just invested in someone that it's like $1,000 a month for a bunch of months. So not only is it a big investment up front of a few thousand, I'm also committing to months down the road of being like, okay, I can do this. Like, no problem. Okay, yeah, totally. But I believe in her. I was so drawn to her. I had to. But that type of stuff, and it's not always to do with money, but just putting yourself out there. I had a client that in our whole time together, I was like, I want you to go on Facebook Live and just like read some cards, because that's what she was wanting to do. And she's like, I can't. It's about hitting live. It's like, okay, create a video and then post it. So you're not live, but you're creating. I can't. And we went through like 12 weeks together and she didn't end up doing it. And that was like a year ago. And not that long ago, she sent me a message. She's like, Talia, I did my first video. It took her like over a year. And she's like, oh my God, that was not as scary as I thought. And like, I kind of can't wait to do the other one. It was scary, but and it's like, yeah, we can do these things faster and have more growth if we want. We don't have to, but if you continuously push yourself to be nervous, but be doing what you're being called to do inside, you'll grow that much faster. You'll gain that clarity, the success, start being able to, get those programs out and charging for them and really moving into that faster if you keep stretching yourself. So then the last point here is investing for success. And I really, really believe, whether I'm selling something or not, I would tell someone you have to invest for success. But there's 3 ways that we choose to invest. And I heard one of my mentors say this years ago, and it really resonated with me. We either invest our time, our energy, or our money. And there's times when you don't have to do all 3 of those. Maybe sometimes I don't have money, but I'm putting a lot of energy into my dreams. I'm showing up as her. I'm meditating. I'm journaling. I'm creating posts, right? Or maybe it's my time. Like I'm creating a course and it's like taking a lot of time and I block off a whole weekend, right? But the more you cycle through those things, and that's another like being scared thing, is I'll be like, okay, I'm putting in a lot of energy right now, but I don't remember the last time that I had a coach, or it's been a month or 2 since I've had a coach. It's time to like put that money forward, get that, support, that really bigger level of support and engagement and help, because help speeds you up. We all know that, right? Anything that you do, if you get trained to do it, you just get to do it faster. If you get mentored, no matter what it is, you get to move forward faster. So there's a time for all of those. So I want to make sure you're always investing either your time, your energy, or your money into your business to support yourself. And again, whatever you have, sometimes like our kids go off to school and all of a sudden we have more time, and that's the thing, we get to do lots of time stuff. Other times it's like, for me, I don't have a lot of time, so I would rather invest my money to get those shortcuts, because that's just where I'm at. I have 3 little kids, but before the kids, it was all about hours and hours and hours of courses and slides and stuff, right? Because that's what I could invest at the time. So just remembering though, how am I investing in my success? That is really, really important to get a really honest look at that. And if you don't have the money, it's totally cool to do the time or the energy, and know that when something calls you that is money, maybe there's a time for that too. Like, yeah, I've been doing a lot of hustle. I've been doing a lot of my own time. Now it's time to lean back and let someone else help me. But that will, take you so far. So then the last thing that I want to talk about is the funnel. And you'll hear a lot, and some of you probably already have, about your business funnel and your success funnel, and people being like, the funnel to bring you in $10,000 a month. So really what a funnel is it's very straightforward, just like you think of like a funnel. And it brings people into your world and guides them through your business. And so we start when people find you, they start in a certain place, just like any of you found me, that first touch point, and then you go however far you want to go with me. And that is my funnel. So it's a free offer. And this is just like your standard funnel. Really, anyone could do anything, but I'm just going to teach kind of the standard. There's a free offer that leads into a low cost offer, that leads into a mid offer, that leads into a high offer. There doesn't have to be the mid. You could do the one, like either the low cost or the mid, and just have like 3. It's totally fine. Again, it changes business to business. And I'm going to give you examples of what these things are, and really depends. Like if someone is a brick and mortar clothing business, it might look different than like a tarot card reader because their business is different, but they have to find out about you somewhere and learn about your services somewhere. So the free offer introduces people to your brand, to your message, to your vibe. So this is my podcast, is the beginning of a funnel. My free guides that I say, like, download this free intuitive eating guide. I know all of you at some point have probably had one of my free guides, or a free meditation, right? Like sign up for this and get a free meditation, or now, offering a free meditation, the free challenges, like the Purpose Uncovered that we did, the 3-day challenge. So these are a way that people get introduced to who you are, your message. So for Purpose Uncovered, it was my message and my vibe around purpose and business. I didn't just tell them everything. Like, I like eating well and kale and I'm a mom. And like, I might share those things, but I'm not teaching about those things. It's all about where we're going. So the free offer introduces people to you. I believe in giving a really high value free offer. And I put this in the little workbook for today. I really believe in giving. This is where a lot of people go wrong. They really chintz on their free offer. But if that's the first introduction someone's getting to you, it doesn't really give them a lot, right? Like I've downloaded so many times people's free guides, and it'll be like the way to whatever, discover your purpose. And it's like step 1, discover your purpose. And I'm like, well, that's why I downloaded the freaking guide. And it's like step 2, step into that purpose. Step 3, collect the dollar bills. And I'm like, that gave me nothing, like literally gave me nothing. But I like to make it something that I could teach on, that I could create a course on, that I could have a paid workshop on, give them something really good. I love giving my really good meditations. I don't give the bottom of the barrel meditations as the free ones, because if they hear bottom of the barrel, they're not going to want to go farther with you. So I really believe in giving high value free stuff. And this is where in the week where I think it was the Inspired Action, we were talking more about creating services, where there was a lot of free ideas that I was sharing about ways that you could introduce people. You could do like a checklist, also just even, like I've said, the guides, the step-by-steps, or if we're talking about thyroid, it's like 10 herbs that will help your thyroid naturally. And they just download, it could be an infographic, it could be a guide, whatever. So it's something free. So then the next level is a low cost offer. So this might be like a class. I'll do workshops that are like $33. And this is a way where they're investing, but it's a low offer. So it could be a single session if you charge under $100 for a session. When you're doing that, a mini workshop, a class, something like that. Also, some people do like a paid training, but the paid training, like it's pre-recorded, but they'll buy it for $40 or whatever. So you can think of those things you've maybe bought online that are like $20 to $100. Those are usually that low cost offer. And then the mid offer, again, we can combine those two center ones if you want. But the mid offer is where they're investing a bit more, like this course. It's not the highest level I offer or the most intimate, but it's a really good investment and really good like value. So it might be a multi-day class, it might be a group experience or a course, it might be an in-person workshop. And these are just rough estimates, but it's typically like under $1,000, but over 100. So again, it's just starting to think about, if anything comes to you and we're talking about this stuff, and this is just kind of all businesses, as I'm saying this, you'd be like, oh yeah, once I did a Gabby Bernstein workshop, it was like $70. That would be like her mid offer. And then after that is the high level, which is typically private work, one-on-one work, retreats. So Julie, when you're personal training and someone has you in the gym, that's your high level offer. That's your high touch one-on-one. Could be again, like retreats or intensive workshops where you're really doing much more. It's not just like 2 hours of talking. It's like maybe they're learning how to tap, or they're getting physical touch, or they're, something that's high touch, high experience. And that is where we do most of the high level transformation. But between the mid and the high, that's where we're really getting like life transformation in people. Not people don't typically change their life with a guide, but it does inspire change. It does inspire them to think differently. It gives them 10 herbs that can help with their thyroid, and they can start doing that. But as you offer the free thing, this is a beautiful thing to think about too. And most people sell funnels like, or talk about funnels, like you get them into the free one, and then you have to sell them on the low cost, and then you sell them to the mid, and then you sell them to the high. And it's like, yeah, I don't ever want to be in that funnel ever as the customer or as the like creator of that. But how I look at it is it's the people that are ready for my work, and it's the foreplay, it's the warming up, it's the going, hey, this is the way that I look at this, and this is what I've learned, and here's some really high value things. And if you're interested in taking this a step further, I have a workshop next week, and it's 7 to 10 p.m. and it's going to give, you know, this and this and this, and people go, oh yeah, your free guide was awesome, I want to take that a step further. And then maybe they're in the workshop, and you don't always have to do this, but like, hey, you know, anyone in this workshop, I'm running a program, and this program is going to be an 8-week thing, and it's going to take you through even more of what we're talking about. And your clients will get less and less, meaning that everyone wants the free shit. A fraction of those will take the paid thing. An even smaller fraction will do the mid or the high level, but that's how it's meant to be. Not everyone is ready for the high level or the retreat, right? And so that's how it's meant to be. It gets smaller and smaller, but you only need a few high level clients to equal the income of 100 or 200 in the low cost offer. So it does really just funnel people through your business. So I don't look at it like I have to move someone from one to the next and I have to sell them on this and upsell them. I look at it as, if you want more, this is how we can do it. And then people can make their decision. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm not here to try to shove anything down your throat. But if you love this, if that tingled your soul and you want more, I've got this workshop, or I've got this program or mentorship. And they go like, yeah. And that comes from that inspired place. I'm not tricking, I'm not anything, but I've taken them through this. So most people on my email list have received something free at some point, and then they're on my email list, and that's where they can hear about the upcoming programs or workshops. So a funnel is just literally a way that we bring people in. If you're going out going like one-on-one mentorship, $10,000, like that doesn't really work to bring in business. You got to warm people up. And anyone you've invested in, if you think about it, typically the investment, the biggest investment you've made on yourself or with them, it wasn't the first time you met them. Typically, it wasn't like, hi, I'm Talia. Here's my credit card. It's like, it doesn't work. I got to tell you who I am. I got to warm you up a little bit, right? Not just to sell, but for you to know that what I have is for you. So when you hear people talk about funnels, which you will hear a lot of, this is what it is. It's a way to funnel people through your business. So, after this, if anyone has any questions, I'd love to give you some more support, and just reminding you, as I did in the beginning, but you are meant for this. And I really, really, really hope and want to physically make you might border on harassment. I hope you never give up, because this is not for everyone. But like I said in the very, very beginning, anything you do will be riddled with doubts and fears. And that's the journey of what you've signed up for, is that internal chatter journey, that self-love, that success journey, whether success is in your own life, as a parent, as a woman, in your body, as a human, whatever, you signed up for that. So business will bring these things out in you. Business will trigger you. Business will make you feel small sometimes. But the reward of staying the course and being the person that all of a sudden has their own business, is bringing income in a way that feels really good, is more fulfilling than giving up, more fulfilling than being like, you know what, you're right, this is hard, I'm going to back down. That stuff will never lead you to higher ground, but never, ever giving up. Even on the days that you feel like giving up, being like, I'm just going to pause for today and go take one of those like Talia style baths, but I'm not going to give up, because you won't get there if you give up, obviously. Right. And I know that I don't know if it's Michael Jordan or someone who's really accomplished, said like the only thing that determines the people that are successful from the ones that aren't is the people that aren't were the ones that gave up. But if you never stop, like Thomas Edison style, and you do like hundreds of prototypes of a freaking light bulb and you just keep going, you will succeed. You absolutely will, guaranteed, especially when you continue to invest that energy and belief and time into what you're doing, giving it that time, giving it that room to grow. You absolutely will succeed. Like 100%. You've all got something to offer. We're in the time where you can create anything you want. So, really, 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 I'm going to encourage you to never, ever give up. And it does get better, it does get easier. I would like to say that now I have less fear, but my investment gets bigger. What's on the line gets bigger. Now I have like a team to pay, which sounds really cool in the beginning, but it's breeding ground for more fear and more like, oh God, now there's even more pressure, right? I'm investing bigger in coaches. So it's not even that it gets easier in the fear or in the internal chatter. It's just that you get better at seeing it and going like, yep, and totally, I'm terrified and I've been this for 7 years, but it keeps getting better the more I start practicing and stepping into this dream. Borrow others' ideas from Tesla, totally. Well, that's the talk we're getting into. And then I really also wanted to share that everything you do makes a difference. When I look back on what allows me to break through to this recent level or the level before, or from where I was to where I am, every single thing I did makes a difference. If you're wanting to be healthier, every single glass of water, every time you get up and move your body, every extra little carrot stick you eat makes a difference. Every single day I make deposits into my dream life. I show up on my meditation pillow, or I have the bath, or I put my hand on my heart, or I serve people and I create posts and I'm creating things and I'm networking and I'm getting on podcasts. I'm creating my own podcast. Every little thing I do adds up. And that's something that forever I was looking for, the thing that was going to make me successful, the thing that was going to make me not go viral, but like I'd create this one guide and everyone would want it so much. And then I'd make like $20,000 in a month, like no big deal. It doesn't work that way. But every single thing I do has made a difference. Every single workshop, every single person I've shown up for, even the workshops that 2 people showed up, they ended up being really moved and impacted by that workshop. They got so much intimate support that it moved their needle forward. That to me is success. Every single thing I've done has added up, even the things that haven't worked. I've learned so much about who to hire and who not to hire and who, how I want to do this thing. And so every deposit you make adds up. Every time you say you love yourself, it adds up. Every time you journal, it adds up. So remember that it feels small, one post, one meme, but it adds up and you will look back and go, yeah, every single thing. It's just like climbing a mountain or walking to the bus stop. Each individual step feels insignificant. But if I was to be like, is this step actually getting me closer to the bus stop? Someone would be like, well, yeah, that's what walking is many insignificant steps, one after the other, that gets you there. So just remember that every moment of compassion, every inspired post, every good idea, every sitting with it, every meditation, it makes a difference every time you practice what you preach. And I acknowledge you. Because like I say, this isn't for everyone. It creates a stretch. It calls you forward like, whoa, like a big stretch. But to me, it's been one of the best personal development journeys of my life, because I either had to learn this stuff with the eating disorder. I had to learn this stuff not having my own business. I've had to learn this stuff anyway. And I like knowing that as I uncover my next level, I get to help more people. It's like, I'm going to have to learn this anyway. Keeping on, having big dreams, manifestation, being my best me, my purpose. So why not learn it as you're also creating something beautiful for yourself, right? Again, it's just like other things. If we were to want to lose weight through self-love, you have to learn self-compassion. You have to learn commitment. You have to learn never giving up. So no matter what we're doing, we're going to have to learn these same principles. You might as well be doing it in a way that lights up the fucking world and heals you in the same time. Your medicine is potent for you. Your medicine is like the most important for you. So I really know that you're meant for this, and it's okay if it's hard, because it is. It's not easy. Nobody would say entrepreneurship is the easy way. I look back and I go, wow, having a 9 to 5 where I just got a paycheck. I'm not saying having a 9 to 5 is easy, because it's not. There's lots of jobs that are very hard. There's lots of jobs, if you don't feel aligned day in and day out, it feels yucky. It's not easy. But just getting that paycheck consistently and not having to like work for it. Well, I shouldn't say that, because we do work for it, but not having to self-generate every dollar in some ways is a lot easier. But is it? Right? Yeah. Is it actually easier in your heart, in your soul, in where you're headed? So if you do have a 9 to 5, if you do that as well on the journey, bring your purpose into that. Really try to look at how you can make a difference in people's lives while you're there, knowing that that's ultimately what you're here for. So yes, acknowledgements all the way around. This is not easy stuff. And so if anybody has any questions today, I would be excited to answer. And I wanted to also, while you're thinking, if you have any questions, I wanted to let you know that after this, I am launching a Inspired to Serve business mastermind. And basically what that is I'm going to open it up to the public. It's not just going to be for this group, but people have to have a business. But what it is calls every other week, except we take a big break for Christmas. So from 2 weeks from now up until February, we would meet twice a month, and it's a mastermind. So there's lots of information on the website. I can put that down. And basically a mastermind, what that is a group. It's a group of like-minded people, and we gather for support and teaching and my eyes on your business, creating content, all that. But it's not a week-by-week group program. A mastermind is really where you get to work intimately with a coach, but it's in a group experience versus one-on-one. But it is going to be like maximum 6 people. I'm actually hoping for like 4, like really an intimate group where we can do this twice a month, and you'll have assignments and that like personally for you. Talking further about strategy, I do really want to show you guys how to boost a post. I'm going to make a tutorial on that, but I can take you through that stuff. And so what it's going to be is 111 a month, and there's 2 calls a month. And then there's also private support on Voxer for the group of us, or sorry, not on Voxer, on WhatsApp. And I also show you that if you do decide to join, because that's how I communicate with my one-on-ones. And it's amazing break away from Facebook, but have that intimate support, videos and voice memos Monday through Friday. So there's lots of support in this group, but we meet twice a month. And like I say, with a break for Christmas. So we can talk about that. I'll put that in the group because I think that the ongoing support, just for some of you that are really ready to kind of take this farther and want that ongoing support, there's room to like really help you nail this out and create the content and really have that like that group or that massaging experience of really, creating these offers and creating how you're going to take this further. And if there are things like podcasts or other visions you have, I can help you with the strategy and how I've done these things. So that's going to be really powerful. And I'll put that link in the group for anybody who's interested. So does anybody have any questions for ending this off? And this is I still am here in the group this week for implementation and question and answer, because I do want you guys to be implementing this week as much as you can. And I will help you. So if you have questions about your social media or your websites, or you want my eyes on your stuff, if you have questions about things, please bring it forward this week, especially if you're not going to join the mastermind, because this is this is it. So we still have the week, but let me know any questions you have. Julie.
I was going to ask, so way back when I was in school at NAIT, when we had our business class there, I was very cautioned to give free things away all the time. They said, be careful, you're going to undervalue yourself, do. But I do realize that it's so for a funnel, does it always start with something free?
No, I think everybody's business is different. It doesn't have to be something free. No.
Okay. But it's something to draw in people's attention. I don't really mind giving something for free, but I'm just trying to, I sometimes have to step back because I'm also the person, people ask me questions and I'll give them everything, but because I'm passionate about it and I like everything, but you have to keep some things in your back pocket, right? Mm-hmm. So that's something that I know that's hard for me. So trying to figure out how this free thing applies and, not to make it, is it more of a general thing then that maybe intrigues an idea that comes into something else that people are buying, and then from there it goes to something else? Is that kind of...
Yeah. So it's, so as I said, it introduces them to what you know. So there's a few things. I definitely hear all the time people saying like, don't give away something free. I've heard like it only attracts people that want free things. It undervalues your work. The thing about that I see, and I think individual businesses would be different, but I would say for everyone here, I still think something free is a really good idea because it takes a level of trust, like we talked about, know, like, and trust to buy something. There has to be trust somewhere. So think of even the group class that we were going to do, and your mother-in-law was going to join. She doesn't know me, but she knows you. She trusts you. So she jumped in, even though she didn't know me, but she had that connection. And it's just harder to come out the gate and get people to pass over their precious money, their valued money, their credit card, their hard work and effort when they don't know you yet. So say you were doing a workshop series, maybe it was like a 10-week series on like healing your body as a whole and healing the thyroid or something. I know it wasn't so much all about thyroid, but say you decide your class you want to do. Something that could be a free offer is something like an infographic you make up online, or some of the examples I said, or for you, like I know workout video might be different than that, but maybe you could do 5 simple workouts that help your thyroid. I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, I would, because with thyroid stuff, it's always body pains. I would say here's a 15-minute workout for mobility and to feel better, move better.
Yeah. So even on that, you could even pare that down to the free version, which might be like a 5-minute morning mobility ritual. And maybe there's a video that shows you like, okay, sit on your bed first thing in the morning and do this and, love your thyroid. I don't know what you would do, but how to use that equipment in the parks. Yeah, totally. So it would lead you into your program, and it would be something that starts them in their journey. Or maybe even it could be something that's like a video of you talking about the 5 myths or the 5 biggest thyroid mistakes that you're making. You hear people say things like that all the time. You create a video. Yeah, you create a video of you like, hi, I'm Julie, snippet about yourself, mentioning like credentials, or just like, I've been doing this for this many years. I myself suffered with thyroid, just a little thing about why they should trust you. Who are you, right? Are you a real estate agent, or do you actually have cred? A little bit of an introduction. And then the top 5 mistakes that I see clients making with their thyroid, or myths that they're believing, are this. Go through it. That could be a freebie that on your Facebook page, on your website, you're going, download the 5 blah, blah, blah now. And so then they get that intro. So now they know what you're going to talk about. And in this funnel, it all leads to the bigger picture to find that ideal client. So when I'm launching when I'm launching Awakened Intuition, I do the free event, Intuition Uncovered. And then I also have like some intuition guides and stuff I'll bring out for that time. I'll mention them on the podcast. I'll be like, click the link and get a free guide. And it's all about like how to uncover your intuition. And at the end of the guide or in the email, I might say like, if you love this and you want to go farther, kind of like the examples I was using, I have a workshop or I have a group program. So I think that a free thing is really good. There are always going to be people that just want free stuff, but they got to find out about you somehow. Right. And free things, it's a very, businesses use it all the time, right? Like buy one, get one free, or scratch and win a free coffee. And you get that free coffee, you go in and you're buying a muffin and you're buying a bar, and like they got you, right? Not in a manipulative way, but they wanted you got to get someone in your door, whether it's a virtual door, a Facebook group, whatever. So the other way that you can offer free stuff that isn't before you've created something is on your Facebook page or your Instagram, for those of you that like to do social media, but make it high value. You could say that same thing. How we talked about, like, you could do a series of like, for the next 5 days, I'm going to be talking about the biggest thyroid myths that I see. And then day 1, thyroid myth is you can't cure it yourself, or when you get older, it'll get worse, or whatever. And then just write a paragraph about that. Stay tuned for day 2. That's free value that people are learning that they can trust you. And it's getting how that we're talking about that being, it's changing the way that they're being, the way that they're thinking about it. So I like to think of things that are like 5 this, and think of that bad information they're getting and bring to them what you have to say. So I would not give away a whole free, like for you, like a free workshop. I wouldn't do like a free workshop 7 to 9 p.m. because either no one's going to show up, or the people that do are probably not going to want to go forward because that's a lot. That is devaluing you. Like I used to give away free sessions to like get someone in the door. And I realized that everyone just wanted the free sessions and then they weren't going to pay. And I was exhausted doing these and I was trying to sell to them. And it was just like, I was like, that doesn't fucking work. For me, free is like a meditation, even like a free 3-day event, because I have a lot of eyes on me. That's fun and generates energy for me. I like it. Does that make sense a little bit more? Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, it's just it does make sense. Yeah. People need to know who you are. They're getting to know you when you're doing what you're doing. And yeah, like I posted I gave out a 25-minute beautiful like Pilates workout on the beach in Tofino when I was there. I just posted it. Is that too much? Like, I don't know. It's just because I was like so inspired to where I was, and I had just wanted to do it, so I just did it. But maybe that was too much, and it wasn't really I wasn't trying to make a funnel. Like, it's just still there on my page. Anyone can do it if they want to have a fun 25-minute Pilates workout. But anyway, yeah.
I don't think that's too much. I do live 3-day events that are free. Right. So it's all what works for you. I don't think that that's too much. I actually think you were acting on inspiration, which is really good. That's a good thing, right? Because if you were like inspired to do it and then you're like, oh, I shouldn't do it free. Okay, maybe I'll charge for it. Now you're like, oh, I have to get the payment platform. Like, it takes you right out of the essence of what you were inspired to do. So I think that's perfect. Yeah. I think too, like in the future, as you're building the business more, you just tie it into the message, like free 20-minute Pilates workout for full body love and healing, or something, for full wholeness, or for mobility, for, I don't know, pain, or, giving it the focus, which maybe you already did, and it just having it tie into your business. And that's, I think, something that it just takes time, but we need to stay consistent with what we're talking about. Like if I was posting one day about manifestation, and then the next day I'm talking about the benefits of kale, then the next day I'm posting like how to make a macrame plant hanger. And then the next day, that people are, a confused mind never buys. So people are just going to be like, I don't trust her for intuition because that's only one of 700 things she talks about. I always think of, there's this restaurant in Souk, to Julie and Julie. You guys know where that is, but there's a restaurant in Souk, and on the side it says pizza. I'm like, okay. Hot dogs. I'm like, okay. Fish and chips. I'm like, okay. Steak. I'm like, okay. Sushi. And I'm like, oh God. I don't know about you guys, but how can you do all those things well? How is sushi and fish and chips and hot dogs and pizza, how are any one of those things going to be done really well? That's just me. That's, and I know that this is business. I've learned this, but also like confused mind, right? So just trying to tie it back into what you're doing. So even if I have a post I want to post about my kid, I will find a way to rope in what I'm doing. I'll be like, and so blah, blah, blah. And I just intuitively knew, and it's amazing how our soul's callings are, like I'll rope it back in. So someone's like, why is she talking about this? What does that have to do with anything? So Julie, when you went like this, like on your personal page, you can post about whatever you want because that's your personal page. But when you do have a business page, I really do recommend just asking yourself, like, does this have to do with freedom, with whole body health, with self-love, with, healing from the earth, or, that type of thing? Does this have to do with that? Does that make sense? Yeah, it is a fine balance, figuring out, again, it's like we don't know it all right now, but figuring out what to do or what to do free, what to not. And I just, yeah, there's so much more. And I look forward to like connecting, talking more about this, maybe even the podcast and stuff. Cause of course, there's so much more. I've been in this for 7 years. And so there's more sort of strategy behind what you offer for free. But it essentially comes down to like the beginning steps. So one thing, and I'll just leave on this because I could go off on this stuff forever and it'll be overwhelming. But one thing is like, if I'm launching a program about say it's even something like this, and it's about like building your business. And I know my people because I've done the work. I know my people, and I'm just making this up right now, but maybe my people are scared that money is an issue. That's one of the biggest reasons why they don't let themselves sign up for things, because money is the issue. I will offer a freebie in that time to go cash money activation for purpose-led business women or something. And they're like, oh, like it helps them with that money issue, which I really want to sign up, but I don't have any money. And I'll offer that, like, here's this cash money activation to help you to bring in the money that you're wanting. And that right away goes like, oh, that helps me with something that I've been suffering with. Or say Marcy, encouraging people to, have self-love and sacred self-time. What is one of the biggest thing, I can hear it, but what is one of the biggest problems they're going to have with giving themselves more time for self-love? What do you think the problem is?
Biggest problem? Say that one more time.
So when you say like the power of sacred self-care time, or creating sacred self-care for yourself, people are going to be like, yeah, but I
don't have time. I don't need it. A lot of people think they don't need it. They think taking a couple deep breaths is enough. Like I almost feel like people don't go deep enough with the self-care to really get to it, because they just believe they don't have the time for it.
Okay. So there's 2 freebies in there. I mean, you could do endless things, but one is, how to, okay, I'm just making this up, but how do you care for yourself in 5 minutes or less a day? How to have sacred self-care, or for me, how to manifest more in 5 minutes or less a day. That would be a super popular freebie. I could already feel it. I should probably write that down. But how to do that in 5 minutes or less. Then they're like, but I don't have the time. Oh, crap. I do have 5 minutes, right? Or the second thing is like 5 ways. This is just, I mean, you don't have to do the 5 thing, but 5 ways that a lack of self-care is showing up in your life. And then it could be like overwhelm, feeling irritated, cravings. And they're going like, what? Because that's to the person who doesn't think they need it, right? So 5 sneaky ways that a lack of self-care is sabotaging your life. Something like that, that they go like, oh crap, I do need it. And that's the kind of next level, is you're showing people why they need your work. So in the live events that I do, Intuition Uncovered, so that led into Awaken Intuition. Awaken Intuition, we're showing you your type and we're developing your intuition. I'm showing you how to ask and receive and manifest and how to build your intuition, develop it. So the free event is, what is intuition? How to know what, how to trust your intuition. Those are the things people go, I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I can trust it. That's going to stop them from going forward in the intuition journey, whether it's with me or anything else. That's what's stopping them. So the free event is like, what is intuition? That's when I'm like, it's the language you use with Source. It's the way that Source communicates. People are going like, I need that. Right. And it's not just about my program, because I really, truly care about these people advancing further in their life. But for the people that are right for the program, it'll make them go like, oh my God, I need that. I want that. And then I'm like, yeah. And once you discover your intuitive type, then you can learn how to manifest with your type. And people are like, whoa, I need that. Right. So, and again, only a small fraction of the people that sign up for the free event will join the program, but that's good because only a small fraction are ready to dive into what we're going to dive into. So it is really like giving them that first step / what is stopping them right now from doing, and Tanya, I know that sometimes you're feeling way better this week, but when you're not totally clear exactly, like all of us are, right, on what we're pinpointed going to do exactly, maybe something like, 5 ways or the top ways to create freedom in your busy life, or how to create financial freedom when you're in debt. And people go like, oh, because they might go like, I can't have financial freedom, I have debt. And then in that, whether it's a video or a PDF or a podcast or anything, you could talk about like financial freedom is not just in your bank account, it starts in your mind. So first of all, we need to look at your money mentality. And here are some simple ways you can start saving to start building up your savings now, right? And that introduces them. And this is the thing, is that free thing, even if you gave them the best advice, your most high level advice, that on its own typically won't change their life, because to any of us, no matter how awesome you are, you read a guide or you see a quote, it's not the same as working with you. It's not the same as you talking for 2 hours about it or giving more of what you know. So I could even tell people, like, this is how you listen to your intuition. You pay attention to it, you practice it. And I'll have this moment and they're like, yeah, but you know what? They go into their everyday life and they forget it. They need that help. And so I think, Julie, too, remembering that nothing can take the place of you being in the space with someone. I could not have given you all the workbooks to this program and have it be the same impact as when I'm sitting here talking to you one-on-one and going like, how are you today, Tanya? Okay, something that's coming up for me is this. How does that feel? Oh yeah, that is fucking valuable. And they can't get that in a guide. They can't get that in a free meditation. So I might give away even some of my best stuff, but it does not take the place of me creating the space to support someone, me giving them the guidance, the love. You could give me a 25-minute video of Pilates and it may be amazing, but I might be like, but my neck is hurting. And then when I'm with you, and I know personal training is not what you're wanting to do full on, but when I'm with you and you're like, oh, your neck's hurting because everything you do, you're hunching forward. And I'm like, what? That's the hundreds of dollars a month I pay you for, not, you know what I mean? So like, even if you give away something so good and so valuable, it doesn't take the place of how far you actually can go with somebody and the value of that intimacy of working together. So just remembering that, especially for those of you that, don't know exactly the services, just give and offer, because if you tell them 5 herbs with turmeric, or, how to forage this or that, or how to, heal from the inside, they can only go so far with it, because at the end of the day, they're stuck in their own mind, their own patterns, their own limits, and they need you to help them out of that, if that makes sense. So, Tanya, one of the questions you asked in the group, I know we've gone over that a lot, but you asked like how to tell which things are free and which things are paid. I look at it in not so much of a value thing, but of a timeline thing. Like if I gave someone a free, like high level thing, it wouldn't meet them where they're at. I need to give them the free introductory thing. So say even with Julie with an H, you were teaching, and this is just an example. Like I remember when we were working together, you were hired to go into that restaurant and like teach kids how to, not kids, but what was that? Teach youths how to do something. Maybe I can unmute. No, I can't.
Right. Okay. I can't figure out my own phone. All right. No, I was hired to teach at-risk youths basic cooking skills.
Basic cooking skills. Yeah.
Get into a job.
Yeah. So Julie could have come with her genius and knew what she was going to teach these kids basic cooking skills. This is how you do this. This is how you make a roux. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. This is a measuring cup. She could have created a free guide and been like, here, kid, 1/4 cup of baking soda. And this is a spatula. And this is how you marinate beef. And this, it couldn't have made the impact of being in the class with Julie teaching them. So I think that's just remembering that. Like I give away stuff, I'm like, this is high value shit. This is like when I talk about like the being, that's like the quantum, that's the high value stuff. But it just doesn't, it's not the same as when I'm sitting with someone one-on-one, using examples from their life, feeling their energy, hearing and sensing what they need, giving them attention. Right? Like that's what we want. That's why we go to a therapist, to sit and talk about our life so that we get individual attention. So that therapist could be like 5 ways to beat the fall blues. And she may tell me the same things. Talia, you've got the fall blues. I need you to beat them with these things and give me these great tools. And I'm like, that was amazing. It's higher impact because I was with that person and it was personal. So that's kind of, how I gauge what's free and what's not is really what comes first. And that level of contact, the free stuff. Some people do their time, but I don't do my time for free unless somebody wins something, then I do, but I just don't, because it drained me. And I was doing free stuff all the time with and it would be like 2 hours. I'm like, this is not working. So I'll give the meditation, the checkbook, the workbook, the whatever else, or replays of trainings. Like I'll do replays of master classes I've done before as like a free bonus for them signing up for something. So anyways, it can go, on and on, but really just looking at the bite size first. What can I give them that's bite size to start them on this journey? Does anyone else have questions about that stuff or absolutely anything else? Also, yeah, go for it, Tanya.
I have a question that kind of goes with the technical part of the funnel, I think. So when you have the free thing, like on Facebook or whatever platform you're on, they put in their email address to get the product or whatever that you're giving them for free. How does that like go into your, I don't know, your list? Like, how does that kind of like come back to you in the technical version of that? Does that make sense?
Oh, of course. Yeah. So in the business building toolkit, there's the tutorial about MailChimp, and that's where it's called CRM. And now I'm thinking of why it's called client something management. Oh man. Anyway, and there's a few different ways to have an email list. So I use MailChimp. I may be converting out of it soon because once you, I don't know, it doesn't matter. I love it. I've been loving it for years. It's just as I grow, it has less things you can do, but it was been perfect for like 7 years. MailChimp's awesome. I also think it's free up until your first like 1,000 subscribers. So you can just like get your feet wet and figure out how to do it. There's also other platforms, but that was one thing that I had to realize is like, it's not just the same as your Gmail anymore. It's a mail list management system. So like from MailChimp, I can't send out one email to someone. So I had to figure that stuff out. Someone's like, can you send me that one email? I'm like, can't. I can send it to lists of people, but that's where I'd go into like my inbox and just send them something. Anyway, so when you have MailChimp or whatever you decide to use, they're quite similar. You create a list. And say the list, like the list for you guys is called Inspired to Serve 2021. And in it is all your names and your emails. So when you join with MailChimp, you can create a landing page. And so when I give you the link for something, that's called a landing page or a sales page. Sales page is usually when you're charging, obviously. Landing page is usually free, but it doesn't really matter. They enter their email. That is through MailChimp. So as soon as they put in their email, you've already signified, like it just gets added to that Inspired to Serve list for these things. And then you have everyone that's gotten that. So I have everyone that's received my free guide. And then, I mean, there's other ways to work it, but I also have like a master email list. And what I'll do is I get my team to frequently copy the people from that free into my master list so that they're receiving all my emails. There's other sort of, oh yeah, thank you. Intuitive ways. That's funny. Other ways to do that with other sales pages and platforms and stuff. But in essence, you get a landing page through MailChimp or from your email server. When they sign up, they're automatically offered that or like automatically added to that list. And there's something called automated emails. So you create an automated email that the second they hit submit, it's sent to them. And you've created that already in that list. It's actually not that complicated. It sounds like there's all these moving parts, but it's just kind of once you get into it, it's not that complicated. I also have tutorials for that as that comes, I can pass on to you to show you how to set up like a list and an automated email. But that's what it is. Basically, it's an automated email. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Julie. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I learned a few different ways because I was going to do some online boot camps, and then I ended up working as a nurse more, so I didn't do that over the pandemic. But anyway, I had this, I forget what it's called now, maybe you know what it is, but it was this free sign up link. It was really a little nifty little thing. It was like, all they had to, so I posted this, we're doing boot camp Tuesday, Thursday, this time. It's live, but you can also just, if you can't make the time, you get the video after or whatever. And it was like this really easy peasy, like sign up. All they had to do was, there was a link on the page. I'm trying to remember the name of it. And it put their name, number, and everything down. And it said they were interested, and then I would email them more information about it. But it was this really cool, little way to, like, people, instead of just commenting on the bottom, oh, that's neat, you know what I mean, or whatever. So you're actually only sending out information to people that are clicking and that are interested in it and want to know more about it because they write their name and you get their email. So that was another thing that I learned too, is to have getting people's emails is a wonderful way to, because I've also in the past, people that have attended my boot camps in the past, I would call them up personally, or because I'd have their phone number or email, and I'd say, hey, listen, I got another one going on. I wanted to know if you were interested, da 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 da. So having their information is helpful, right? But anyway, I forget the name of the one that I thought was really cool. I thought it was really sleek, and it was, again, for me, not a very techie person, is pretty simple to use. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about, Talia?
No, like I know landing pages, of course, if they enter their email, then they are on a list.
Yeah, it was just like a really simple link to, anyways, I may, if I find it, I'll post it on the page.
Yeah.
What
And
it-
then
what it
you had
was.
to send them an email?
And then I could send them information like that I've already made up for
Right.
who wanted more about it.
Right. So it
Yeah.
wasn't automated. You would send them an email after.
Yeah.
Mhm. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So you could definitely do something like that. And then you also just need a place to store those email addresses, which is why I use like MailChimp or whatever, because it's good for, you know, the first bunch of people. You could use your Gmail, you could just add them, you could make a list, but to at a point, it starts getting to be a lot of work. So if you think of even the way Julie was doing it to email someone back, that's great for a bit. But then if you have like 20 people in one day, now your full-time job is emailing people. So even if you use that link, you'd still want somewhere to store them, and you'd still want to branch over eventually to automated generally, unless you are literally just doing a class of like 5 people and it's easy for you to send them. But long-term, something like MailChimp, there's just a few. I mean, there's a lot of them, but there's MailChimp and ConvertKit are 2 main ones that are good for beginners. ActiveCampaign is another one. I don't know why I just love MailChimp. It's just so simple, and it's just gotten me by the last like 6-7 years. It's been perfect. But yeah, I could show you that at some point too, if you're, you know, if you're wanting to come back to that and go through the toolkit too, to look at the MailChimp stuff. And even just signing up for it and starting that process. Cause this is the other part in like, when I was saying investing in yourself, is you will have to invest time and energy in learning some new things. There are people that start off in the beginning and maybe they have tons of money and they start out right at the beginning, hiring people to do everything. Cool. But almost everyone I know learned how to do the basic stuff, because in the end of the day, it is your baby. It is your business. You know, when I worked at the Naturopathic clinic, I've worked at 2 different clinics. One of them, the doctor actually knew how to like run the front desk if he had to in a pinch, if he had to answer the phone, if he had to schedule an appointment. The other one was totally useless, like could not even like check someone out, even if they knew the amount at all. And it's like, sometimes like in your business, it's good to know these things and learn. And like in the beginning, I was watching so many tutorials and like going back tab to tab, going like, okay, I got this set up and this, and it's the age of information. You can, you know, so this type of stuff is great to like think about that and look at that and be like exploring, even just set up MailChimp and the tutorial I made and kind of go through it or whatever, you know, calls to you. But you will have to figure out some of this stuff beyond your comfort level. And then you can start to hire other people to do it for you. And that's a really fun place to be, but it's also scary too. I'm like just going through it right now. Like, okay, Talia, like pass over control, like pass over, ask for help. And I was just saying to my assistant the other day, I'm like, okay, this is like a Talia journey thing. Like I need to learn to ask for help. I am always learning with my husband, with people around me, my own coaches, like learning to ask for help. So I'm doing this because I talk to them on the phone, but it was just like, I've got people going like, what do you want me to do this week? I'm like, I don't know, but I've got 700 things. And so like, I'm learning to pass that over, but I've grown this from the ground up. I've done everything, every page and link and post and video and like everything you guys have seen. And most of you have been with me for years. I've done that all myself. And now I'm like, okay, I need help because I don't want to be doing that. Right. But I think it's good to learn this stuff in the beginning, and especially learning just even the basics of how to create these email lists like we're talking about. So going through that, there are a ton of the tutorials too. Does that kind of answer the question with the email list and all of that? Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions right now? Okay. So I love you guys so much. I'm so proud of you. Make sure, I would really recommend to go back through, not all of it and all the time, but back through your notes, back through the things that have really hit you. And just, I want you to really just know that it's okay to feel like you don't have it all figured out. Even someone that came here and does every assignment and asks all the questions, which you guys have been doing so much of this stuff in 8 weeks. you know, it's tough to see the fullness of where you're going. It's tough to get a sense of the massive impact you're going to make and how all the services are going to look, but really just continue knowing it's here. Go with the clarity you have, ask lots of questions this weekend, like do everything that you can, go back through the weeks. Like I was saying, the tangible steps, continuing on. And just, I think just overall, when I'm like away from you guys, the thing that I want to say is like, just do it. It's like, just, it doesn't start with just hiring, like having your first client tomorrow and trying to figure out what the hell you're going to say to them. It starts with just doing this stuff, just posting, just writing about it, and just being inspired and sharing that. And so much of the posting, I'm saying, like, it's not just so that you'll be an Instagram star. It's just so you get used to talking about your message, get used to knowing what you want to talk about. It's so important. So just keep doing it. Oh, I hear you telling me this all the time. Just do it, my love. And it's not that big of a deal. Like the algorithm kind of sucks. Your post is basically gone from everyone's vision in like a couple days. So, you know, it's all good. And it's really powerful. It's a place where you can reach a lot of people. Okay, let's do some cards. Thank you for reminding me. I'm going to go in the order that I see on my screen here. So it's Marcy, Julie without the H, Tanya, and then Julie with the H. Okay. Marcy. I'm just going to leave this open for guidance going forward, whatever needs to come forward in this moment to help dissolve any resistance and move into your next level. Okay, I've never seen this card before. Where are you being called to journey to? Imrama. This is interesting. I'm going to read the book on this one. Where are you being called to journey to? You know what I hear first and foremost is like, go there. Like, take people there. It's like alchemy, healing, spontaneous, rapid transformation. Like, where are you being called to take people to? That's actually what I really hear there. And going there, like believing in the wild quantum leap transformations that you can create with people. So these are activation. This is an activation card. And it says, the Celtic word Imrama means a journey of the soul, a voyage on which we don't know where we are going, but our soul knows the way. If you pulled this card, you are either being called on a soul journey or are already on one. It could be a physical ancient place or a metaphoric journey. When we journey to places that our soul remembers, a shift takes place, both within us and to the planet as well. You are being called to journey to a place that is sacred to your soul. Perhaps it is a journey to the world's sacred sites, or you're being called across the country to climb a mountain, to lie on a desert floor, or to drink from an ancient well. There are places to see and old friends to meet. I see spontaneous pilgrimages in your future. If a physical voyage isn't possible, journey through the portal of your heart. Follow the invisible soul trail and be willing to explore. Read a book or watch a movie about a sacred time or place that fuels your soul. Or perhaps you are being called to study an ancient lineage or body of work. Whatever your circumstances, your soul is ready to journey deep. So this, Marcy, hand on the heart, anyone that wants to play along, this is your activation. May seeds of light long ago planted begin to rise. I am ready to remember ancient secrets from lands that my soul knows from times past. May I be held by the ancient lineages that my soul has served and remember that I don't have to do it alone. I was like, whew. Good one, Marcy.
Wow. I'm crying. Oh, surprise. I have been on a big pull and journey to continue to keep connecting with my ancestors and going as I'm learning where they came from and the ancient people of my past. I want to go to those lands, which most of them are places I've had a calling to visit anyways. So this resonates on so many levels with me, and it was really beautiful to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I hear like going there and also going there. And so if it's a place like Egypt or something, before you can go there, like watch things about it. It was saying that documentaries or in hand on your heart and go there. Yeah.
Watching a ton of documentaries on these lands. And when you were just saying that, I heard, ask us and we'll show you, is what I just heard. We can take you there without having to go there, is kind of that download I just got. So yeah.
Also, timeline journey may be beneficial for you too. The timeline journey track that I could get to you. I don't know. I think it was in the awakening space. But like journeying to different places, you know, the timeline, and we go up and we go over, and it's almost like go to your ancestors in this place or that place, you know?
Yeah. That
Beautiful.
would be awesome.
Beautiful. Okay. You guys switched positions now. I don't know why, but Tanya's next now, according to my positions. Sometimes I have to keep a way to remember, like when I'm doing lives, Facebook lives, and there's all the people, it's like so hard to remember who's next. Okay, Tanya, answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? I love the artwork on these. So I really feel, before I read what the book has to say, I really feel this like pull between the soul's callings, those huge dreaming big, and the practical and the physical and the earthbound. And it feels like this, like right now in your journey, whether it's business or everything else, it's like allowing yourself to be big and to know like the possibility and the magic and this like it. Even as I'm saying that, I see this like belief rearranging. Like people will be like, oh, after 40 it's all downhill, and you're going like, no, it doesn't have to be downhill. Or, you know, oh, blah blah blah, like people, and it's like you're expanding into this like, no, like I don't even believe that anymore. And it feels like this like journey of like listening to the soul, like really believing in that expansiveness, even when other people think you might be nuts or don't exactly see how you can see so much possibility. So just before I read that, it just feels like answering the call of your soul and that like expansive version of you, and moving away from those small sort of human things. Like we are human, we need to be human. But when we dream and be with our soul and then act and follow it through with our human, it's like this really beautiful mix. So it just feels like this daily, like, what is my soul calling me to do? It's so simple, but it really feels like feels really yummy. Okay. Answer the call. Let's see. So this is an inquiry card, or whatever that means. Okay. So answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Your guidance is divinely guided. You are being called to answer the call of your soul. It might be scary, it might not make sense, but if you trust your soul's yearnings, you will live a life beyond what your mind could possibly imagine. Totally. Totally. Answering the soul's callings is not a one-time thing, rather a lifelong dance. Deep down, you already know what you long for, what your soul yearns for. Whatever you are called to do that is your calling, don't overthink it. Don't wait for permission. Just say yes. Most people are waiting for a step-by-step plan before they take the first step. But intuition doesn't work like that. It takes faith and courage to answer the calls of your soul, which is why most people don't do it. But you are not most people. Did I write this from what I was saying earlier? You are in exactly the right place to answer your calling now. You don't need the whole plan. You don't even need to know where it's all leading. You just need to take the next step. No one has ever had a complete, perfect plan. There is no destination. There is no right or wrong way to do it. And you do not need permission from anyone except yourself. Sometimes the more resistance we have around answering a soul's calling, the more important it is for your soul's growth. So sometimes I just feel it's important. Sometimes the more resistance we have around answering your soul's calling, the more important it is for your soul's growth. So then this says, hand on the heart, what is my soul calling me to do? That's beautiful. How do you feel with that?
I've definitely had that card before because I do have the same deck as that, which I love it. The artwork is so beautiful on that. The other day, I'm just gonna look and see if I can find it in my book here. I wrote here about, if I only knew that like it was going to happen in the future, I could be patient in waiting, right? And then I got thinking, I'm like, well, why do I need to know that it's going to happen? What if I just, or I guess trying to explain it in a different way. If I just think I know, I project that I know, then I can still have the patience to wait for this to unfold instead of just having that kind of confirmation of knowing that it's in the future. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of had the same thing come up. That was a few days ago that I was like, I can just automatically know that it's going to happen in the future because it's something that I desire, right?
Yeah.
And be patient for that.
Yeah.
So that kind of reiterates that same thing, I think.
Yeah. And that's like what I would call now, like claiming it. Like claiming it. This is mine. This is happening. And that's a very distinct difference. Is it going to happen? Of course, it is going to happen. That's why I say, like, my success is inevitable. Your success is inevitable. It's not just because you're like extra special, rich, fancy, sexy. It's all those things, but it's because that's what you're claiming. That's what you're here for. That's what you signed up for. So I feel like that's kind of a slight side note, but it's still like what you're saying. And I love that. And it gives you the patience, like you say, because you know it's inevitable. So it gives you the patience to allow it to unfold. But when we don't think it's inevitable, then we're stressed about it. And it's like, is it going to happen? Right? Is that kind of what you were saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Julie with an IE. You have a question or are you just raising your hand?
I want to talk. Can I speak?
Okay, go
teacher?
for it. Yeah, do it.
I'm going to take my hair off. I'm trying to get comfortable not wearing my wig sometimes. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my hair off. And just so I can be getting more comfortable with it all the time.
Thank you.
Julie, you are beautiful. Like, I feel like I can see your whole being right now. not just making
You're
that up. I
fucking
really
gorgeous,
do.
woman.
You're
love it.
gorgeous.
Love it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I want to cry right now. I do. I'm not, I don't know how to say it. When I say I feel like I can see your whole being. It was like, not like a mask or a something came off, but like, wow. I'm really proud of you. Thank you for sharing this with us.
I want to be like, it's no big deal. Like, don't make a big deal out of it. But like, this is a really big deal. And I'm really
Yeah, you know
excited.
what? The more I do it, the better I feel about it. And you know what? It's something that's healing for me. So it feels good to do it. So yeah.
Yeah. Look at everyone
You're
smiling at
beautiful, man. I love it.
Thank you. Thanks.
you. Yeah. Oh, well, now I'm all like flustered and
Ta-da! Yeah, I know.
beautiful. My face is hurt
It's
now.
my party trick. It used to be, I used to have really big curly hair. So my party trick when I used to party a lot when I was young was like brushing my hair upside down and have this massive afro. But now I joke, this is my party trick. So anyway,
I
yeah.
love it. I love it. I'm really grateful that you feel safe with us. Yeah.
Thanks.
And I love that the second you took it off, everyone was like, oh, you're so beautiful. I love it. I don't know if anybody heard the podcast episode with Blake Fly, where I talked a little bit about Julie. We did a live, he like on the spot got me to do this experiment. He's like, okay, take out your phone. And I was like recording the podcast. I'm like, okay. And it was about unexpected appreciation. But anyway, he was like, scroll through your contacts. There, pick one. I was like, Julie. He's like, tell me a memory about Julie. And I was like, oh my goodness, Julie just showed me my head the other day, her head the other day. And it was so beautiful. It was like this whole thing. And before the podcast was launching, I was like, Julie, I just realized I'm sharing something very vulnerable about you. Do you mind? And she said, I don't mind. And it was really beautiful. I really appreciate you doing this and feeling safe.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay. So this says Anna, grandmother of Jesus. And it says seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Before I read what is in the book, it feels like you are laying the foundations of a complete next phase of your life, of your business. It feels like up until now, there's been these small pivots, but like there's something really big. There's really big changes in your life and in the business. It's like you almost need to like break up with what you've been doing. Not meaning that you have to cancel things, but just almost like leave it behind and look at like a whole new foundation, getting rid of everything you've previously taught and being like, what do I want to bring forward? What aspects of this can I really see bringing forward? What do I want to talk about? It definitely feels like that. I think it's saying that the card is like this foundational time of setting up the new. Because, you know, like in your house, if you just keep putting stuff on top of stuff, that new stuff just looks cluttered. And I find when I just add more onto already what I'm doing, but I'm not clearing away the stuff that no longer resonates. And so as I'm talking, it feels like that's a really important nudge that I don't think I've seen for you yet. Is like permission to let go of things that aren't working, permission to only take forward what you want to be doing, what complements your new vision and new focus, because you're laying a foundation of success. You're not just doing something that's going to bring in money or doing something for some short-term pivot. Like you're setting up something almost like for the rest of your life. Like it will grow and change, but it's new. It's in a totally different way of doing things. It feels like it is more from the heart and is more from that purpose. So I feel like just right now I hear permission to let it all go, to bring in actually what you want to be teaching and talking about what you want, and disregarding everything else you've already done and just bringing forward the new stuff. That really feels important. Okay, so this is an activation card as well. Okay. Seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, was an ancient mystic who dedicated her life to laying the foundations for Christ consciousness to be woven through all of life. She is not widely known, but without her, Christ consciousness would not be the rising as it is today. Anna represents the quiet dedication that is sometimes required to live a life of service. She represents the generations that came before that devoted their lives to dreaming a new world into being. While knowing that, sorry, it was really loud for a second. I think it's something behind you. Okay. She represents the generations that came before that devoted their lives to dreaming a new world into being while knowing that they would not see the glorious end results. She represents a dutiful soldier, an unconditional mother, and a mystic to those who see the thread that is woven through all of life. Anna teaches us that we all have a part to play in the divine plan. It doesn't have to be on the world stage to be significant. One person's part is not worthier than another. One person's part may be to mother their children. Another's may be to gather women in a circle each month. No part is better or worse, more important or less significant. We each have within us a seed of light that we incarnate to share. Anna is gathering us to remember to surrender to our part of the bigger plan. Anna is gathering us all to remember to surrender to our part of the greater plan. Oh, that fucking fills me up. Okay, the activation for that is hand on the heart. Beloved Anna, thank you for laying the foundations of the divine plan. May the seeds of light within me be revealed, and may I surrender to my part of the divine plan. That feels really yummy. It also takes the pressure off of you to know that you are just part of the divine plan. You are one of the stars in the sky, aiding in all of this. And so it kind of feels too like, have fun with it, share your light. It's not all on you. It's not all serious. It's what comes from your heart that is your part in this plan. How does that feel for you?
Good. And it does feel kind of relieving because, yeah, I mean, I get caught up in all the details of everything all the time. And maybe if it just can be a little more easy in the sense of having fun and doing what I think is fun and necessary, then maybe that's part of it too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it is part of the bigger collective, you know, like I was saying a while ago, like you're just showing up and helping people. And when you show up and help people, you just help from what you know, right? So even if there's like a kid getting frustrated that they can't do something and you're like, it's okay, sweetie, it just takes practice. That's you helping them with what you know, which is that shit takes practice. It's just that we've adulted that advice. We've tried, you know, we're making it a business and we're looking at formulas and
Right.
programs, but it's still just spreading your light. And it's so important.
Nice.
Okay, Julie, sexy, what is it, like silk or something? Silky mama on the couch there. Sexy robes. I call you robes.
It is silk, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Feels good.
Mhm. Okay. So this card is upside down, which it feels like, before I look at the card, the upside down usually means like reverse energy. So it's sometimes about like what is blocking you or what needs to be rearranged a little bit. And it feels like almost like it feels like a little bit of a stuck point that we can move through. So let's see the card. Share your voice. Come out of the cave.
Fuck.
Persecution and expression. So I think that this card was backwards because you're resisting it, which is okay. It's totally fucking okay. And we all are. It's okay. So before I read the book, I want to say, of course, you have a valuable message. Of course, who you are is enough to show up and evoke reaction from people, laughter, inspiration, aha moments, healing. Of course, it's enough. Look at you. You're a spark of light. You're a spark in a room. You make a difference in the world. You bring a vibe, you make an impact in people's lives, and it's not any different. In fact, it's amplified the more you continue on this journey and the more you look at it as creating a business, a way to serve more people with what you know. And so it feels like when you don't share your voice fully, we sit in this like, what if they laugh? What if they don't show up? What if I'm not enough? But it's not until you fully do show up and share your voice that you can see people are waiting to respond to you positively. People are waiting to get on board with your magic, like so much. I can see it in you. You just have such a magnetic way about you in the Awakening Academy and the Awakening Space and in our coaching. And when you're in a group, like you're magnetic. You're the shit disturber in the group. Remember old school? It'd be like, sorry, Julie's distracting us. And I'm trying to teach. I'm like, Julie, back down in the back. No, I'm just kidding. But you bring laughter and light and inspiration to people. And so I just want to say, like, it's safe to. Of course you are enough. Of course you are the one to bring this message. Of course you're not meant to be in a box. Of course you're meant to be self-expressed. Of course you're meant to be self-expressed. Share your voice, use your voice. We need it. We're waiting for it. So let's see what this has to say. Okay, this is an action card, Julie. Share your voice, come out of your cave, persecution and expression. You're being called to share your voice, perhaps by speaking up or through writing, speaking, singing, or some other form of creative expression. We each hold deep truth within us that longs to be expressed. Sculpted for lifetimes, the voice of your soul is like no other. It carries with it a wisdom that can only be gained through soul history and growth. By remembering, tapping into, and expressing this unique tone, we are not only able to heal ourselves, but we also heal the planet at large. When you share your voice, you unlock something in the universe and call a missing piece of you home. Your individual voice is the most powerful sound current on the planet. If you have kept your soul's voice silenced or held back, chanting or singing could be truly life-changing for you. As we shed the layers of our personality and start letting our unique soul speak through us, we discover that we actually have a very clear message that longs to be shared. The more we speak it, the clearer it gets. There has never been a better time in history than right now to rise up, speak your truth, and share your soul's voice. If you feel fearful, know that you are not alone and that the world needs your unique tone in order to harmonize. As we each reach up and share our song, we make it easier for the next person to do the same. So this is your activation, hand on the heart. I express myself. I share my voice. I speak to those who can hear me. That's nice. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, kind of. And right back to what you just said a few minutes ago, the more resistance I have, the more important it is to do.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Also look at the emotional reaction. It means it's so important. It's hitting you deep into your cells. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for showing up today. This was definitely an extremely, holy shit, that's a long one. Oh my God. I am sorry. I was in the vortex. I can't even believe you guys are still here. Okay.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. Like what?
I had no idea what actual time it was. That did not feel like it's,
Wow.
yeah.
What? I usually bend time the other way where I can get more done in less time, but I feel like this just like elongated time, or I don't know. Anyway,
Like when
okay.
we go into Target and you're there for an hour and you walk out and it's 5 hours later and you're like, what?
It's like dark outside. You're like, what the came here at 10 a.m. How does that happen? Okay. I love you guys so much. I just want to, again, just say thank you and honor the journey you've been on. Use this next week to your advantage. I am here for you. Post in the group, tag me, ask anything you need to ask. I am fully here for you. If you want me to look at your pages or get feedback on posts or any other thing, all of these cards were collectively for all of us. And the message really coming forward is about sharing your truth and really opening yourself up to this new level, opening yourself up to being in this new season of life, which is big. This is really big stuff. So yes, it's scary. And yes, we want to bolt sometimes, but it's because it's so big and it's so important. So I'm so honored that I got to support you in this time. If anybody has any questions too about going forward, or if you're considering the mastermind so we can continue connecting and having that support, just reach out if you have any questions. I'll be putting the link, you'll get email and all that stuff. But please use this week to your advantage. I'm so here for you. I love you guys so much. And yeah, you're doing an amazing job, and I will see you in the group this week. Okay. Love you guys. Thanks for spending 7 hours with me.
You too. Thank you so
You
much.
too. Thank
You're
you.
so welcome.
And thank you to everybody in the group.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye to everybody. Can't wait to see your
Bye.
stuff.
Yeah,
You
totally.
too.
Yeah. Okay. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.